welcome to another great episode of Latin Chamber of Commerce Leaders in Action. And today we have a really distinguished guest. They are very important in our society and our community, very important function. And for that, I will allow my co-host and our boss, Maite Salazar, to introduce her to our public.
Trust me, I'm no boss. So, but this is amazing, being part of this organization, the Latin Chamber of Commerce, and of course the LCC Leaders Program. And we're very grateful and appreciative to DETR, the Department of Employment, Training, and Rehabilitation, who has sponsored this program and made it possible to have 8 series of trainings over the last year. And we are in the last set of trainings. It's the personal leadership development. And with us today, we have a very special guest who works for a very special organization, a very important organization that does important work in our community. And Tara, it's Tara Cavalluzzi.
Correct.
And
Perfect.
that's why he wanted me to introduce you. So Tara Cavalluzzi, thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in our programs. We are very grateful to you and your participation during the sessions, and you always bring good information.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome to be invited, and I cannot go on enough about both of the series that I attended. And so, it's an honor to be here and to speak about my organization and things that I've learned. So thank you.
To start, I want to learn your story because the classes were so big, so we didn't get no one got to really introduce.
They were so large.
No one got to introduce themselves.
Yeah.
So this is all about tell us your story, who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do.
Excellent. So my name is Tara Cavalluzzi. I'm Italiano. By way of New York. I'm originally a New Yorker. Yes, sir. I've been here. I've been here in Nevada about just over 11 years.
Wow.
I was previously a preschool teacher, so I worked with little kids, and you want to talk about leadership. That's if you can work with with 4-year-olds, you can work with anybody.
Right.
But I needed something different in my life, and so I was very fortunate to meet a friend who said, "Hey, Safe House is an organization here in Henderson, and they're looking for to fill some positions, and I think you'd be a really good fit." Right. So I am myself a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm very outspoken about how survivors can have a different life.
Yeah.
And so she thought that it would be a great fit. I was currently at school at the time. So I started working on Graveyard, and I just fell in love with this agency and the work that we do and the clients that we see every day. And so that has become my passion. So I've been there just a little over six and a half years, maybe.
Wow.
I've held 5 positions within that agency, and they have led me to the Emergency Services Director. So I am now one of the department directors for our agency, directly below myself and my colleagues, directly below our CEO. And so, I just love Safe House, and thank you for recognizing us and in the impactful work that we believe we do.
That's amazing. And I know, and especially domestic violence is sad. I mean, it's sad for everybody pass through, but in some cases, they need organizations like yours in order to save families, save kids, especially kids, and especially survivors of that type of domestic violence that it's unbelievable, but it happened, and we thank you for that because it's a great support, and it's good to know that there are organizations like yours that really support, and the process, how to handle that, how, especially emotionally, how to support those victims because that will be male, female.
Yes,
in my
sir.
case, it's me. Okay, I'm the victim.
He'll be giving you a call.
And through your process, the education and believe me, dealing with kids. I say that's the tough cookie. Yes, it does. So how you overcome those challenges? How you because you are a director of emergency, I assume you are the first contact with the first situation happen, and you deal with Metro, I don't know,
Yeah.
different organizations,
Yeah.
paramedics, things. How you deal? How you overcome those obstacles?
So we are a comprehensive agency. We provide many services. Just to name a few, we have an emergency shelter. So we have emergency services, crisis intervention. We have legal advocacy for clients who may not need shelter or are in shelter but also need, legal ways to navigate the system.
Yes.
They're not attorneys. Our legal advocates are not attorneys, but they're well versed. Whatever they've experienced has instilled a passion in them as well to help people navigate a very challenging system sometimes. We have counselors because people obviously need to work through trauma and need to have an outlet for that and need to have tools on how to overcome. And then we have community outreach. And so community outreach goes into the schools, and we discuss ways to recognize teen dating, teen violence, so that we're trying to attack the cycle at the bottom.
Yeah,
So,
that's amazing.
I
Amazing.
mean, Carlos, you mentioned, there are very, very sad situations, but I think as an agency, our goal is to instill hope, right? So that this doesn't have to be your ending. There's more. There's more to your story.
There's more to it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
agreed.
and we've been through it. We've kind of traveled that path, and we can help lead you towards a better tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So I really enjoyed this leadership program and this series, and it just ties so well into what we do in our team. And I was really very, very excited to be a part of it.
That's great.
Well, it was so interesting because we were talking just before we got started with the podcast, and I know that one of the series is a business accelerator series, and you're a nonprofit. So we were talking about how it's important to run an organization almost like it's for profit, because you're looking to be more efficient. You're looking to you're producing numbers, and you have to be accountable. And there are all kinds of aspects that really correlate to a business, but also because you're taking the leadership. I'm sure you probably knew a lot of things about yourself, but you probably discovered new things and how it applies and how your leadership style applies to your role in the organization. So with that said, what makes your leadership style unique, and how does it tie into your everyday work?
So as you mentioned, we were talking about this earlier. I think I have to wear a lot of different hats. And so in one moment I might be client facing, and I'm dealing with crisis intervention, at our emergency shelter. This is a person who is in the midst of crisis and trauma. And so I have to, lead them, navigate them, guide them through their experience in the moment. But I also am, responsible for the maintenance of the building and for the staffing and for people showing up to work
Welcome
on
to the
time.
business reality. Payroll,
Right. And so,
yes.
and I mean, we have over 400 people stay in our shelter each year.
Wow.
That's a lot of different personalities. That's a lot of high C's, high D's, I's. I'm referring obviously to the DISC assessment tool, which I found amazingly, incredibly helpful. For anybody who's unfamiliar, I encourage anyone to do it, not just for themselves, but for your whole team. It's really something. So, I was a born leader. I think there's just natural abilities in me, capabilities, and even when I go into a room and say, okay, I'm just gonna sit in the back, I'm just gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna really, say too much. I'm gonna let somebody else take the lead. That doesn't happen. It's just my personality comes out, and wherever I go, there I am. So, there, I have those things in me, but I want to grow them intentionally. I don't want to excel accidentally. I want it to be on purpose. Right. And so, I was looking for a program, and I absolutely found one that provided structure, as well as interactivity. Like, the coaches and in the sessions, we were able to have these discussions, and like you said, there was a lot of people.
Yep.
So we kind of got to the end, and it was like, oh gosh, we're done already. Like, that's crazy. Well, see you next week, and we'll try to talk more about it. So
That's it takes us to our next question is, as busy you are, because you have to keep the pace with the budget and payroll and all those expenses, because to have a shelter for 400 victims, it's amazing. I cannot believe there are so many, and we thank you and the organization because not at least, no, really you are giving a hope
Yes.
and telling us life ahead. Their close environment they were into it is gone. They had a life for them and for their kids.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. In saying that, how you find out about this program, or what motivates you to join this program at Leaders in Action?
So a previous attendee I was doing some work at our shelter. They're in the construction field, and they were just raving about their experience with LCC and their different series that they took, and so they just facilitated that. Like they were so impassioned about what they had learned, that they couldn't not talk about it.
Yeah.
And so they recommended it to me. They actually made the connection, and I got an email, and I looked through it, and I was like, I'm not Latino, and I don't own a business. I'm not sure if this is the space that I would be, best.
Fit, yeah.
Yeah, that make the best fit. Not that I wouldn't be welcomed, and I absolutely was. I mean, it was incredible. Everybody was so welcoming, and you just felt at home the minute we signed in. So, but I did have to question, like, is this where I should be right now?
Valid question. Valid question.
Yeah, and so and I'm grateful that this person was super eager to talk about it, and it clearly made an impact on their life and their business's life, and so I had to be a part of that too. And you all welcomed me, and it was great. So yeah.
No, and I was emailing and texting, and I wanted to make sure everyone
Yes.
attended every session. So
Yeah.
I didn't want you to miss out on anything.
Yeah.
And so I know that people are busy, and so I'm like, you know what? I know I bug you guys, but you know what? It's worth
No,
it.
you did a great job. You were a stabilizing force. You did not miss one session. You're on camera. You're welcoming. You're encouraging. Saying everybody's names. And those emails, right? Sending those emails
That's
and text messages, but we need those reminders. I mean, I mean, my job is 24/7, so I could get a call at 3 a.m. and I have to answer that call. But again, I'm no martyr. I have a great team, an amazing team, and I want to be a better leader for them so that we can make more impact on our clients.
So with you're almost at the end of the leadership series. You did all of the business series. You're towards the end of the leadership series. Through all of that, did you have that aha moment? Was there something that was just kind of like, wow, like,
So there was a couple. So in the business portion, it was that whole like nonprofit profit, and so for me, I switched it in my brain. Like, I'm not driving my profit. That's not what we do, but I'm driving my impact. And so I started to try to incorporate that language into meetings that I was having with my staff, meetings that I was having with clients, and just saying, like, where is your ability to make impact on this? And so that aha moment, like that switch, really, I was able to buy. I was all in. And I was like, okay, every time they talk about driving profit, you're driving impact. And it just made the series go much, much smoother for me.
Yep.
And then for the personal one, I really learned that leadership had to start with me. It is very personal for each person and for each role and within each field. And so I had to really get some sort of clarity about, not only what my default setting is, but also who I wanted to be in leadership, and try to incorporate that. I don't want to lose myself, but I want to be a better person. I want to do better work. And I want it to be easier sometimes, to be honest. I mean, we all want things to
That's
work,
right.
work smarter, not harder.
You are a go-getter, so I can see your personality and your focus,
Thank
and
you.
you have everything clear, and I like it because
Thank you.
you're focused, and you know what is needed to grow for your organization. Is amazing. Congratulations to you and the leadership of your organization because they have you.
Yes.
And we wish to have more of you in our community. And respect to the classes, the leadership classes, that help you to focus or improve your growth, your leadership. That class helped you to form or grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it reminded me that it needed to be on purpose.
Okay.
I think a lot of us fall into leadership accidentally. There's a role that needs to be filled. And so, okay, I'll do that today. I can do that, so I'll do it. And so then you kind of find yourself in positions where you're not really sure that this is where you want to be, or this is what you're meant to do, or that you're capable of doing it. You kind of start to second guess yourself. But leadership can be on purpose. It can be intentional, and it really needs to be, right?
Right.
We need to learn to find ways that, play to people's strengths. You're good at this job.
Yep.
That's your task. You don't like it, teach someone else to be good at it. And then they can be good at it and you can do something else. Because we all have tasks we have to do that we don't like. Leadership is not just about tasks.
Right.
Right. There's, it's not just about, what I can accomplish. It's, the methodology versus the motives, how am I going to get there versus why?
Yes.
Purpose is important.
Yep.
Vision is important. Clarity, all of that drives us to do what we do. But, how are we going to get there and not take hostages while we're at it? Right?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
sounds like in my family when you say hostages. Things like that. Well, it's not related. It's just family, not business related. No?
I don't want to drag people along, I want them to be eager and excited. And, that doesn't mean that we're going to like every single thing we do, but they've got to buy into it.
Yeah.
Or else I'm dragging them along.
Yeah.
And
So building upon what you just said,
Sure.
so how do you see all of this training shaping your future and how you do things and how you lead?
oh gosh, that's a tough question, Maite. How does it drive my leadership in my current role? I think I definitely do want to be more team oriented. So I learned specific tools, right, on how to highlight your staff, how to call out certain accomplishments or achievements. I've learned a couple of different ways to address, and not say discipline, but corrective actions, right?
Yeah.
So because
You're
sometimes
smart. I'm more
Yeah.
directly, but you're smart. Yes.
sometimes you have to
Not being the
address
persecutor,
those
right?
moments.
Not
Yeah,
being the
not being the
perse-
persecutor, exactly.
But
Because
be the challenger.
I tend to be the persecutor a little bit. I've really embraced the different styles of my staff. I wish all my entire team could take the DISC assessment. But right now, I was fortunate through your program and your generosity. It was myself and the assistant manager at shelter, and I'm a high D, and she's like a 99S. But I've learned like so many different things for her, and I know that might not be relevant for some people listening, but
Right.
it means that we are probably very different in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And so we have to adapt to one another, but we can learn from one another as well.
Yeah.
And I don't have to change her. I just have to find her strengths. And she's not going to be able to change me. She just has to, find my strengths and accept my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but you have something in common, and that's the main goal. And so it's to connect. That's why it's teamwork, because
Right.
I had this strength, but my teamwork has the other strength. We'll put it together, and we're
Unstoppable.
force,
Yeah.
unstoppable. So
That's what makes a good team.
and but I will say now, because now with the new kids, the millennials, I will complain they don't want to work. You know, they don't understand the philosophy. They don't understand where we're coming from
Yes.
and what is the need there. So and it's difficult to put that philosophy into them. But there are influences. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a commercial. So let me go to the next question. In this class, in your own opinion, what has more impact on you, a class or a mentor for you personally?
Good question, Carlos. Okay, so I'll start by saying my favorite coach was Ted. And it was because he was super relatable. He had like little family anecdotes, and he was just a person trying to be a better person and trying to teach people how to be better people, right? So I really enjoyed his coaching. I did not use any of the mentoring one-on-one, although that was absolutely provided to us in this program. Unfortunately, time just gets away from us.
Right.
I really liked the interactiveness of each session. So I think the first one, Maite, was 10 weeks or 8 weeks?
8
The
weeks.
first
8
one,
weeks.
and the second was
6
six or
weeks.
7. Yeah. So each week you kind of knew who to expect to see. And Maite was a stabilizing force. She was there every single time, and just very very welcoming. Encouraging all of us to talk to one another, to network, to put our information in the chat, to connect outside of, inviting us to the breakfast, and just ways so that we can collaborate amongst our community.
A community, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because this is where our community is. This is where we live. This is where we work. This is where we eat, breathe, sleep. Let's work together to accomplish whatever it is, whether it's building custom leather goods or ending domestic violence. We all have value that we can add to one another.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So would you recommend this program?
100%, 110%, as a matter of fact.
And why would you?
Because for all the things I mentioned, right? Like if you are serious about growing, serious about looking at some parts of yourself, and some ways that you could make some changes for the better, embracing some things that are just who you are, and not feeling like, I have to discard that piece of me. I can still embrace that piece of me and make it work to my benefit. But somebody has to teach me how to do that, because that's not my natural setting. And so if you're serious about that commitment, about learning and really finding a way to drive your business or drive your impact, then 100%. I mean, LCC delivered on every component that they offered.
Yeah, and not only that, the classes is one part of the that we do with the Maite leadership, but the whole team of the Latin Chamber of Commerce, we are here to serve you. So just let us know how we can help, because your organization is very impactful in our community. It helps a lot, and believe me, especially women, when they are in that situation, better. But I can see their world is ending because they don't know nothing about it, and how will they get home, how I can feed my kids, how they get to college. I depend on him 100%. Now it's on myself how I can do it. In so many cases, there are transplants from different cities, different states, or different countries. So there are, but themselves, and your organization does a lot.
It does.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that
And
acknowledgement.
believe me, we at the Latin Chamber, the Commerce, all the team, we are here to support you. And we encourage you to participate with us, classes and activities where you can network with different members, because the resources are there. The only thing is you need to find them and connect you with your organization.
Thank you so much.
No,
Yes.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, we're very fortunate to have organizations like yours, and we're grateful that you participated, because we just didn't know we were open for anyone and everyone to participate, and we just didn't know what that was going to look like.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're asking us like, "Oh, so what do you think?" How many people do you expect? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm going to try to get as many people as I can to join the program. And, sometimes we have our registrations are probably twice the number of the people that actually show up.
Right.
But, people have good intentions when they sign up, but people are busy.
Sure.
So it's really hard to commit to the program. And I know that I send out a commitment form because I said, this is free, but it's not free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a cost. There's a cost to our sponsors. There's a cost to putting everything together. There's a cost to everything, of course. Nothing
But
is
there's
free.
also a value,
But
right?
there's a
And so you
huge-
highlighted the value
Yes.
about the cost as well, which I think was important because we were able to see the cost of what our commitment would be, but also to value what we were going to get back.
Right.
And it was a contract that was honored on both sides. For people who participated, it was honored on both sides.
Yeah.
Because we definitely received the the value of what we were given. So.
Okay.
I thank you all for doing that,
and listen
for
to the
obtaining
guy-
those grants.
Yeah.
Those grants are hard to get.
Oh,
Yes.
There's a lot of
that, especially this time. No,
Yes, and then you
yes,
feel like you have to make sure that everybody's participating and check
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
boxes, and you know that the money that you're asking for is important and it will be used, but it's tough.
Well, with that said, you're the one person or one of the few people from the nonprofit sector, you understand the surveys.
Absolutely.
Why the surveys
And
why
I did
it's
every
important.
single one. Every single one, Maite.
Because
Your survey
I'm-
outcomes are a part of your
it's all
grants.
part of reporting. It's all
Yes.
part of letting them know, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the response. This is what how they're benefiting.
Yes.
This is the feedback we're getting.
Yeah.
And so-
When you go and ask people for money, you have to prove that there's a need. And then you have to prove that it's going to be purposeful. And so, surveys are super important. And I was very cognizant of making sure I submitted every single one.
No, and it also shape the needs of our community.
Yes.
Either
Yeah.
business or nonprofit. And that shape, they say, this is the real need today in our state, in our city,
Yes.
in Southern Nevada, not elsewhere. It's what we need today in this market. And hearing you all the time, the good things, thank you for that. Do you recommend this program for audience to take the next classes?
Yes, I like I said, I took both. So far, the two that have been offered to me or that I was aware of, I signed up for. I took both. They complemented one another, but they weren't repetitive. So I was able to either learn something new or I was able to expand on knowledge that I had just learned. So yes, I thought they were very valuable, and I would recommend anyone go ahead and take that class if that's what they're interested in doing. I mean, it's the way of the future.
Right.
We have to find ways to be innovative. We have to find ways to do, even more with even less.
That's right.
And that's kind of, and that's for everybody, whether you're a for-profit or a nonprofit.
Right.
It's just the way the times are. And so, Carlos said it perfectly. This is our community.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to be, we have to be invested in it. And I think our organizations both are. And what better partnership for that than, yeah.
Oh,
Well, I
thank
think Tara said that they're at 30 years. We're at 50 years. So, it's,
Yes, ma'am.
we
Just a
are
little over 30.
long-standing
Yeah.
Wow.
organizations in
Yes.
this community. So, working together and
We have the staying power.
That's right.
We are driving that impact. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Excellent.
We're also a nonprofit, so we understand. We understand that perspective.
Yeah.
But we serve the business community, but we also serve organizations in our community. So it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
Same. Likewise. Thank you very much.
I really enjoyed your interaction in the sessions.
Thank you.
And I think it was valuable to everyone. And
I hope so.
And I think that it's important when participants actively participate because I think everyone learns from everyone.
Yeah.
So
I learned a lot, and I enjoyed thoroughly all of the coaches, all of the mentors, and all of the participants, like the attendees. People were so, again, welcoming and willing to talk about their business and what they did and how they could, offer services to our clients and things like that. So it was a really great experience. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. And now for our audience, please tell us your name, your nonprofit organization, what the organization does, so people need to know really, really, because people sometimes they don't know what we have, those
Yeah.
resources in town and in our community. and how they can reach out to you.
So what we have is a state that consistently ranks in the highest for domestic violence and intimate partner violence around the nation. Consistently, we're at the top. Clark County received over 22,000 domestic violence and intimate partner violence case-related reports last year alone, just in 1 year.
Wow.
And so we need organizations like ours, which is Safe House. We are located in Henderson, Nevada, but we service all of Clark County and beyond, to be honest. And that includes Las Vegas, Henderson, Summerlin, into Laughlin, Pahrump. Anyone who is a survivor of domestic violence, anyone who is in the midst of domestic violence crisis, any family member who has been impacted by domestic violence, any community member who is interested in learning more about ending domestic violence. We encourage them to reach out to us. So you can find us at our website, safehousenv, like Nevada.org. Additionally, we have a 24-hour crisis hotline that is manned by staff. Anybody can call at 702-564-3227. It's 24/7. And then you can have an opportunity to meet with, or to speak with someone about your crisis needs and how we can and resource that for you.
And also volunteers. Do you accept volunteers?
We do absolutely accept volunteers. So part of our community outreach that I spoke about earlier that goes into the schools, we do have volunteer program. She's our coordinator, and there is information about that on the website. We're always accepting donations. People love to give generously, especially during the holidays, but all throughout the year. So we partner with some different programs for used items. We always accept, new items for shelter, baby items, all the things.
Okay.
Definitely reach out to our website, reach out to myself personally. My email address is TARAC as in cat @safehousenv.org. I'd love to answer any questions that I could. We have business office and the 24-hour hotline.
So what type of partners are you looking to collaborate with? I'm sure you have you probably have lawyers that are partners. You have
Sure.
Nurses that are partners.
Yeah.
You probably have, this huge collaborative through the, in the community. But is there anything that you're looking for? Any resources that you need or any more partners that you're looking for?
Transportation is always a need.
Okay.
Right now we provide any of our shelter clients with, bus vouchers. But anybody who's traveled by bus in Las Vegas knows just how challenging that is. When it's 120 degrees, you have two small children, you're getting on a bus, and you've got to go 2 hours.
It takes
to get
2
to
hours
work.
just to wait for the bus.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Carlos, you feel my struggle.
Yes.
And so, and that's just to get to daycare. And then you have to still get on to work. And then you have to do it all in reverse on the way back. And so, any transportation, that's always something that we're looking for. A lot of our clients have certain needs that aren't covered by grants. And so we're looking for different resources. But we do have a very strong network of community. So we partner with the coalition, the Nevada Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence.
Okay.
We have partnerships with Baby's Bounty. We have medical partnerships. We have food partnerships. We have housing partnerships.
Yes.
Wow.
Housing is a huge need for somebody who's restarting and making minimum wage.
Yes.
Right. But these are community issues that we know about. And so when we can go out and meet with other representatives in the community, we can come to solutions. We can come to compromises. We can give and take and things like that. And that really all just takes conversation. So moments like this, being invited to participate in leadership classes and events like podcasts. So, we thank you too.
Oh, well, you make us very proud.
Thank
That's
you so
what I
much.
say. And please support Safe House of Nevada because it's a truly, it's the foundation of our community. And that's the island where people can be safe, safe and come back to our community. We need our community safe and have better future for our kids and our families. Thank you
Absolutely.
so
Thank
much,
you
Tara.
again.
Thank you, Maite.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll conclude this episode and be safe, and we'll see you the next one.